Now at 6, the impact of Hurricane Helene hits the Northwest. How some local hospitals say they're being forced to make changes. Plus,
it won't be another mother or another father going through this pain like me.
As a grieving mother calls for justice and answers 9 years after her son's murder.
And caught on camera, how you can help a local nonprofit track down the thieves who stole thousands of dollars in equipment. We begin with breaking news here at 6. The Oregon man who kidnapped a woman and locked her in a cinder block cell has been found guilty.
Kyle Leboshi has covered this case extensively and joins us now with the update. Kyle.
And the jury took less than 4 hours to deliberate its verdict. Guilty on all counts. The federal jury in Medford convicted Nagasi Zuberi of kidnapping 2 women, sexually assaulting them and holding them against their will in his garage. The FBI claims in July of 2023, Zuberi posed as an undercover officer, kidnapping a woman from Seattle, then sexually assaulting her during the 450-mile drive to his home in Klamath Falls. The woman was able to escape the cell by beating on the metal screen door until her hands bled, according to the FBI. A day after the kidnapping, police tracked down Zuberi in a Walmart parking lot in Reno. Federal prosecutors also linked Zuberi to a second kidnapping. In May of 2023, the 30-year-old abducted a woman outside a Klamath Falls bar, threatened her with a taser, handcuffed her in the back of his car, and then sexually assaulted her multiple times. Zuberi chose not to take the stand in his own defense yesterday, although changed his mind today. The judge said it was too late and sent the case to the jury. Sentencing is scheduled for January 16th.
Kyle Leboshi on the breaking news. Thank you, Kyle. In your headlines, the suspect authorities say shot another man in southwest Portland Thursday afternoon has made his first court appearance. Today, 42-year-old Nuruddin Deeb of Beaverton pleaded not guilty to charges that include attempted murder and assault. Police say the suspect and victim know each other. The shooting happened in a parking lot off Southwest Capitol Highway behind the Islamic School of Portland while class was in session. No word on the victim's condition.
A grieving mother is still waiting for answers 9 years after losing her child. Tanya Mayo's 23-year-old son, Dion Matthews Jr., was shot and killed at Dante's, a music venue in downtown Portland, back in October of 2015. Now Mayo refuses to give up on finding answers and is trying to help other parents like her.
It won't bring back my child, my baby, my one and only son. But at the same time, it won't be another mother or another father going through this pain like me.
If you know anything about Dion's murder, contact Portland Police. There is a $2,500 reward for information leading to an arrest or conviction.
I-5's Rose Quarter expansion is facing a major setback after ODOT says it missed out on hundreds of millions of dollars in federal funding. The agency applied for a $750 million grant, which did not come through. The project, which would add lanes to I-5 and put a cover over the interstate, reconnecting parts of the historic Albina neighborhood, is expected to cost up to $1.9 billion. ODOT plans to start with the project in 2027 with money from another grant it already received and then to apply for others. It also plans to ask state lawmakers for more funding.
Today marks day 4 in the search for 2 missing Navy aviators after their jet crashed in Yakima County near Mount Rainier. The wreckage was spotted from the air, but crews on the ground are still working to get there. It's located at about 6,000 feet in a remote, steep, heavily wooded area east of Mount Rainier. It's still unclear what caused the fighter jet to crash on Tuesday.
And a fast-moving fire in the Bay Area has forced hundreds of people to evacuate a hillside neighborhood in Oakland. The blaze grew to some 14 acres before fire crews stopped its advance. At least 7 homes have been damaged. No word on the cause, though there is a red flag warning in the region due to hot and windy weather. Some of those warnings stretch as far north as Shasta County, not far from the Oregon border. Matt?
All right, David, you can see the clear sky all across California. No surprise there this time of the year, of course, but it is very windy and it's been warm. Not super hot, but warm. I mean, 77 in Sacramento. Oakland hit 78. Ukiah made 80. Redding 78 degrees too, but it's been windy. Strong, not east winds, but north winds gusting as high as 50 miles an hour, sustained about 30, 20, 35 miles an hour. So there is a fire weather warning out all the way up towards Reading and a wind advisory underneath the same area too. That goes until Friday and today, and then the fire weather warning until Saturday at 5 o'clock. So yes, they're dealing with fire conditions in California, which is not unusual until the fall rains arrive, and that can be a little bit longer in California, of course, than it is here in Oregon. Our fall rain will give us a break as we go to tomorrow. The clouds will clear, and we'll get up to 70 degrees for a really nice Saturday. But then, even though it'll be warmer both weekend days, an atmospheric river descends upon us on Sunday for more rain. I'll show you how much in a bit.
Yeah, enjoy 70 while it lasts. Thank you, Matt. Now at 6, a local nonprofit is asking for help after thieves broke into its storage unit with the victim watching it all unfold in real time.
John Adams is live in West Lynn outside the storage facility. And John, today you spoke with the owner of the company.
Yeah, Christine and David, the nonprofit told me the thieves made off with $75,000 worth of equipment, but they're hoping that surveillance video will help police track them down. Charles Lewis has been providing home inspections for people who need income assistance in the Portland area for over a decade. But his job will now be more difficult after thieves broke into his storage unit twice earlier this week. First around 10 p.m. Wednesday night.
So I see activity and there's a masked man in the screen going through stuff. And I'm like, what is going on here? I watch it for about 30 seconds. I'm like, that is not good.
Security video from inside the unit shows a man wearing a mask and a ball cap breaking in. Lewis hit the panic button on the device to startle the man. You can then see the suspects covering the camera. Lewis called West Lynn police, who arrived to sweep the building just minutes later, but the thieves had already gotten away. Then, hours later, they returned.
They broke back in at 4:30 in the morning, grabbed another like $35,000 worth of equipment and left.
You can see the suspects back in the unit in this video, grabbing more pieces of high-dollar equipment. Lewis says they made off with $75,000 worth of equipment in total, including a ground-penetrating radar device, sewer scopes, and these radon detection machines.
The thing about this, they stole several of these. They're useless to criminals. They can't use them. It's got a code, so they can't access it. But in our hands, we could save a life with it.
Lewis says he will keep providing inspection services despite the setback, but hopes fingerprints left on the camera and help from the public may identify these suspects.
It's unfortunate, but we'll keep pushing forward and keep doing the best we can for our community.
And again, Lewis is asking anyone who might be able to identify the individuals in that video to call West Lynn Police. Christine and David, back to you.
John Adams in West Lynn tonight. Thank you, John. Well, tonight we are following up on a KGW investigation into the case of a Vancouver woman who was living in squalor with no heat, no running water, and she is now suing her landlord.
We first met Casey Jewell back in February. The mobile home she rented just north of Vancouver was falling apart and no one would fix it. Our story, along with public outcry, prompted her landlord to find her a new place to call home just around the corner. But according to a new lawsuit, it wasn't a smooth transition. Before she could move, Jewell claims the landlord demanded money she didn't owe and added extra fees. We spoke with her attorney.
She's in a new place, but there hasn't been any accountability for what she went through for so long, the conditions that she was forced to live in.
KGW reached out to the Vancouver couple that owns the Hidden Village mobile home park, Denise and Michael Werner, but we have not heard back. You can catch Kyle's full report coming up at 6:30 on The Story right here on KGW. And we are also following up this evening on the fallout across the country and here in the Pacific Northwest from Hurricane Helene. Some hospitals in the area are having to reschedule surgeries due to a shortage of IV fluid.
You might remember the hurricane stopped production at Baxter International's facility in North Carolina. As a result, Providence says it's having to conserve their current supply and using alternative fluids when appropriate. Now, OHSU says it's had to reschedule some non-urgent elective procedures. State health officials say they are also keeping an eye on things.
OHA is working with hospitals very closely around the state to connect them for mutual aid. And mutual aid is a process by which hospitals and other health facilities share supplies and resources in times like this.
Providence and OHSU both say patients will be notified directly if there are any changes to surgeries.
Whenever they happened to be serving a meal and I was in the neighborhood and hungry, I would try to eat there.
Straight ahead at 6, the local nonprofit now facing a new challenge when it comes to continuing its critical work.
And feel like taking a trip back to the 60s? We'll tell you about a chance to relive some of the music and art of that psychedelic era.